It's one of those things, it's fun until it's not, and then you realize why it's not fun.
Yeah.
Extra caution. It's more important than just going out there and winging it.
Yeah.
100%.
What's up, you guys? This is Yeet Fishing Podcast. I'm your host, Taylor Hadlock. We got your co-hosts here, Shandon and Tyson. So we're here talking about ice fishing. So we're pretty excited for this ice fishing season to come up. And we got a great podcast for you guys ahead today. So you guys pretty excited for this?
Pretty stoked, yeah.
Pretty stoked, yeah. Excited to talk about what we're talking about today there.
Yep. So we're going to talk a little bit about what lakes freeze up first. So we'll kind of go through those. These guys will tell you a little about what to be prepared for and kind of what lakes you should most be excited for to hit first. So what's up first, guys?
The Uintas is what usually freezes first. Last year we were able to hit it October 28th.
Yeah, we hit it early.
Hit it super early. At that time it was about 3 inches or so. So we feel safe going on 3 inches. Others may not, but yeah, it was good to go right before Halloween. So Uintas are always usually first. They're pretty high in elevation. You know, what's their elevation like?
It's around 10,000 feet.
Around 10,000 feet, yeah. So it's
They're high up.
super high up. It even freezes before like parts of Canada. So
Yeah.
that's super cool.
We only get a couple weeks of that too, don't we? With the Uintas up there.
Yeah, they'll close the road, and so once there's a lot of snow up there, you can't get up unless it's snowmobile. So you just got to be safe.
Yeah, you can get up there with snowmobile. But yeah, once it snows, they don't plow it. It's hard to get up there.
I'm
But
curious to see what the lake looks like after mid-February up there.
You probably got 10 feet of snow. And
yeah,
there's probably no lake. I bet a lot of the fish die.
So you don't want a snowmobile up there at that point in time.
Yeah.
You probably got, I'd say, late December up at Mirror Lake, snowmobiling up there,
Yeah.
getting yearly ice fishing access. All right, yeah, and I mean, best way to look and see if you can get up to the Uintas there is mainly one thing we do is check the cameras. Great resource to kind of see what the weather's looking like, seeing what the snow levels are looking like, and if you're getting close to ice up there.
exact temperatures.
Where do you check the cameras?
You can go to UDOT on there. Yep,
Okay.
check
Their
the
app?
Yeah, on the app or on the website there, UDOT, and I believe it's the Skyline Drive for those cameras. Do you know? Mirror Lake
Highway.
on that. Yeah, Mirror Lake on that one. Okay.
Nice. Yeah, there's a couple lakes up there that'll freeze. You got Mirror Lake being the main one, but there's Moosehorn and Butterfly and a bunch of little lakes just off of the side. So yeah, Trial. A lot of good ones. You got your trout, all your trout species basically up there. A couple with Arctic grayling. Any other species up there you can catch? Rainbow trout, tiger trout, brook trout. There maybes. Is there any with cutthroat or?
I don't know.
I'm not sure. None that I know. None in that area at least.
Yeah.
Probably could go further into the Uintas, find some others, but that main area, that's always the first lake to freeze up. What's the second area?
There's a bunch of little lakes on the Skyline Drive there. Skyline is the road that takes you to Huntington. So you got a bunch of little lakes in that area that freeze before Huntington. It's just a little trout, but yeah, those are some options. Yeah, a lot of stock trout. So anyway.
Yeah, those are so secret. I didn't even know about this. So that's some news to me right there. I have to do some research there on Skyline Drive there. I know you got, because just up the road you got electric, but that one doesn't freeze till a little bit later, right?
Yeah, same road as electric. So just that whole area is
Fairview
the Skyline
Canyon area.
Yeah, Fairview Canyon area. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
All right, and then you're out there. You got there Huntington, which you got great tiger trout. One of my favorite times of going out there early ice is you can see through the ice, reeling in that tiger trout, and see them swimming under there and all that good stuff there. Yeah. So that's a fun one. And then we got my personal favorite after that, Schofield, which you guys have something pretty important going on there, right?
Yeah. Shannon, you want to talk more about Huntington, though? I mean, you love that lake.
I love Huntington. It's usually best early ice. After once the season goes on a little bit farther into December and January, it slows down quite a bit there. But yeah, there are some pretty big tiger trout in there and some splake. They stocked some splake in there several years ago, so they should be getting decent size now. But yeah, fun lake, tons of fun. Usually freezes around Thanksgiving time. Last year it froze really early. That was a super cold winter. But yeah, usually around Thanksgiving time is a good spot or a good time to go hit that lake. But
Yeah, it's a fun lake. It's tiger. I mean, if you want to catch a tiger trout, great lake to go to it because that's 95% of what you'll catch.
yeah, they're pretty too.
There is a lot of snow, and there's not really close parking to the road, so you will have to walk. That's the biggest thing I'd say with it. Unless you got a snowmobile or snow dog, something like that, that is one thing to be prepared with. But because it's early ice, do not take a snowmobile or snow dog out on the ice.
Yeah, don't want to fall through.
Yeah.
But
Schofield, though. You guys want to talk about Schofield?
let's do it.
Good old Schofield. You guys got something pretty big going on there, right?
Yeah, we got an early ice tournament on December 16th. I almost said 14th. December 16th, Frozen Frenzy ice fishing tournament. Going to be awesome. Shannon and I are putting it on. Got a lot of sponsors, and you want to talk a little bit about the rules of it?
Yeah, so the category of it, it's the single biggest fish per each species, and we're combining the length of all those species. So, for example, for Schofield, you catch a rainbow, like a 10, we'll just use 10, it's an easy number, but 10-inch rainbow trout, 10-inch cutthroat trout, and a 10-inch tiger trout. Your total is going to be 30 inches. There's also wiper, tiger muskie. They stocked walleye in there in 2019. There's chubs, of course, there's chubs. So, yeah, you can add all those inches up, and the combined total is how we'll figure out who won. So,
Yeah.
right now, first place is $1,000. That's the pot right now. We'll figure out second place and down a little later on, but that's still to be determined.
Yeah, we got some awesome sponsors giving us some good stuff to put in for the raffle and also giveaway for the top earners. So go and join that. You can check it out on Fish Donkey, and you can follow along for updates on Instagram with Frozen Frenzy Ice Fishing. So pretty excited about it.
Yeah.
Tyson, what do you like about Schofield?
Oh, I like how much space you have there after every other lake freezes, honestly.
Yeah.
I mean, it's one of those hidden gems. People forget it's a blue ribbon fishery out there, and you get out there and it's big, healthy fish and a lot of good quality there. So it's always a good time. It's one of my favorite places. It's either between Strawberry or Schofield, and generally I'll go to Schofield because I know there's more variety people can catch there when I want to teach somebody else ice fishing or take them out for their first time. So it's a great experience to go out there for people with their first time, or if you just want to have some luck catching some fish.
Oh, yeah.
Last year was a little rough I'd say around February. We just got so much snow last year, and there's only so many places to push it. So you had very limited access points, but during that first year, I think we were late October, early November last year, phenomenal ice fishing, easy access, not having to worry about anything like that. So.
Yeah.
Generally, you have the dam area freezes first, kind of expands out after. You'll have that dam area frozen the first week, 2 weeks there.
That little arm there, right?
That little arm there, right, when you're coming around the bend, yep. And then generally a week, 2 weeks after there, you'll be able to have a full cap lake. But always check the gas station out there. I forget their name off the top of my head, but they give very
top
frequent.
of the point, though, right?
Yep,
Where you're coming
exactly. No, it's actually just in Schofield there. They have a little gas station in Schofield. You can call them, and they'll give you the ice reports there.
Oh, sweet.
So-
I didn't even know that.
Yeah, little hack there.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Definitely a little bit more useful.
Water temp, too?
Yep, water temp, all that good stuff. So,
Nice.
Great tip right there.
Yeah, that's all. I didn't even know about that.
yeah, great place to go get your snacks and beer if you need them too. If you're stuck on the ice. So,
Heck yeah.
shout out to these guys. We'll leave a link right there.
Yeah. Whoever you are, thank you. Nice.
It's a fun lake, super fast action, really.
yeah.
Yeah. You can look down your hole and you'll see like 6 fish just down there playing with your jigs. So
I went first ice, probably the first week. It was fully capped. It was like 4 inches that I went on. I had my spud bar, I had my suit, so I was safe. I went by myself, but I made sure to tell people where I was going. I was fishing 4 feet of water, and I was literally looking down. There was probably 5 or 6 cutthroats, just I was almost trying not to catch fish, just because it's so fun to watch them just chase my tube jig.
Yeah.
Like, I love it. Schofield, definitely put on your top list of hitting first ice because the action is fast.
Super fast. It's fun to just test out lures. You can try out a bunch of different lures. Underwater camera is awesome there. My wife, so last year I bought an underwater camera, and my wife was not happy with me. Yeah, I bought it from Tyson, actually, huh? That's right. So bought it from Tyson. My wife wasn't happy, but I took her out to Schofield, and she loved it.
Yeah.
So it's just you got a screen right in front of you, watching TV, basically. So
Oh, that's awesome.
tons of fun.
So what underwater camera is it?
I need to Markham.
One of the Markham ones?
It's been
It's been a year.
a year.
We've been doing too much open water.
It's been a
fishing.
year.
It was
Yeah.
a Markham camera.
Yeah.
I think it is.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
remember Markham. I do remember that.
Can't bet.
I don't remember. We'll have to update you with the.
We'll post it up here.
Yeah, if you're
That's
watching it on
what it is.
YouTube, we'll have a little link or a little photo of it here. But
Markham, good camera. Aquaview, also a great underwater camera.
yeah, tons of fun.
Yeah. With all these lakes, these are kind of the first ice lakes. What other lakes we got that kind of freeze last? I guess kind of that end of December, beginning of January. Shannon, you want to kind of talk about some of those?
Strawberry is a big one. So a lot of people love strawberry. A lot of people fish that one. But once strawberry caps over and freezes, everything else does too. So you got like Starvation. I guess Starvation's usually before strawberry, but
Yeah.
you got Starvation over by Duchesne. You have all the reservation lakes and stuff out there that freeze on the northeast of Utah. Down south, you have Recapture that'll freeze for pike. Love that area. Long drive, but love it.
Got Porcupine down there as well. A little
Say
bit.
again?
You got Porcupine.
Porcupine.
A little bit closer to St. George there. I think that one's around mid-January, beginning of January there. My personal favorite, which is a little bit more up north, is Jordanelle. I love hitting Jordanelle there. You got
Does that one freeze every year, Jordanelle? Or is that one kind of iffy?
Not every year. It's kind of iffy. So you always get the rock cliffs that'll freeze, and then you'll generally have what's open by the dam. Over by that dam area open. You'll be able to get a little bit from that personal watercraft ramp out there, probably 200-300 yards. But yeah, last year was kind of a unique year for that capping over. I think we had a lot of
It
lakes.
froze good too,
Yeah.
didn't it?
Yeah, definitely did. I think we got lucky with a lot of lakes kind of capping over there. In that general area as well, we got one that you guys like a little bit more than me, which is Deer Creek.
Love it.
That's your guys' number one go-to. And what's your guys' kind of experience with fishing Deer Creek that often? What's kind of the trends you guys are seeing throughout the past couple of years?
Well, the first year that I really got into ice fishing, Shannon and I went and hit it at evening after work, and it was like clear ice, no snow on top. And I was like, Shannon, you were ballsy to be able to go out on this. But he was out there walking around, and he got there before me, so I was like,
bar?
no, I think we had it with us, but we didn't use it. Shannon just went. There's people ice skating on it, so it was pretty sweet. And then from there, it's just been growing. I feel like winters have just gotten thicker and thicker each year. And last year was just ridiculous. I mean, we got 1.5 feet, 2 feet almost by the end of the season. So it was. I love Deer Creek. Good stuff.
Well, it's close too.
Yeah.
Close to home. So when it freezes, it's fun. It's got some good species in there. All the panfish in there are massive.
Yeah.
You got massive walleye in there. All the trout species. The big browns and rainbows. So it's a fun one. Around there too, you have. You got Pine View.
Rockport.
Rockport.
Echo.
Yep.
I know Echo is kind of a little bit more of a pain to get to because they had closed that canyon last year getting up there. So you kind of had to take the long way around to get up there if you wanted to.
Yeah.
But still a great lake. Honestly, it was worth the drive when I went up there. I think we had slush so bad last year that you had to go find whatever was
Yeah.
high enough that was frozen enough to fish on. But you also got Hiram up a little bit more up north by Logan.
Manaway.
Manaway, yeah.
Good
Yep.
place for panfish and bass if you want to catch a bass through the ice.
Yeah, Manaway, and then there's one more up there. Can't remember.
While you're thinking, Manaway's got some massive bluegill.
Yeah.
Big old bluegill, big perch. So
What did we catch? Like 12, 13 inches last year? And people were catching even bigger.
there's some big
There's
ones.
some tanks.
Big panfish in there.
That
so it's
definitely
fun.
became one of my favorite from last year. Didn't
Yeah.
fish it early ice, but Fished it probably mid-ice for a tournament.
Mid-ice, yeah.
Loved it. Caught a bass on that tournament, and that was pretty sweet. Pull a bass through a largemouth through the ice.
We got some good video of that too. It was a fun day.
Yeah,
So.
Yeah, can't think of that off the top of my head, but
that's all good.
we'll push
Oh,
that right
Fish
here.
Lake.
Oh,
Yeah, Fish Lake down
can't
south.
forget the classic Fish Lake.
That
Can't
one's kind of
forget it.
crazy though. You got to be careful with that one because I've heard there's some hot pots there where it kind of freezes a little iffy. But
Same with Manaway, yeah. It's got some warm pots.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah.
So just be careful when you're going out. Watch out for the change of ice. Like take your spud bar, make sure you're hitting in front of you, taking a couple steps, just always punching.
Yes. And speaking of spud bars here.
Yeah, what do you got?
Just got this one this year. Took me once falling through, and that's all it takes generally before you just consider doing ice safety. But I did fall through last year after I'd already been out on the lake. Went out Jordanelle, fell through, and it's just kind of one of those things that it's easy to prepare for, but when you don't do it, you regret it. So definitely making that upgrade.
So what one you got?
Sportsman's. It's the HT.
The Lost
Spud
Creek.
bar there, Lost Creek on there, yep. And I believe it was $34.99 for that.
Not bad.
Comes apart, so it's easy to get in your sled and everything like that.
Nice.
And easy to compact, so makes things super easy with getting on the ice and
down.
having quite a lot of storage there. So I'm
Nice.
super excited to use that and be safe and survive this year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have a Cabela's one. It's I believe it's like a 64 inch. It's kind of a shorter one. I wish I would have gotten a little longer, but I wanted one for first ice a few years ago, and it's the only one that was in stock before I could get up in the Uinta. So that's what I got. Shannon, what one you got?
Yeah, so it's an HT version.
You got just that little guy?
That's just little guy, that's right. It breaks apart into three separate sections.
Nice.
Is yours a one piece?
Yeah, mine's a one piece.
Taylor's a one piece. Yours is
Yeah,
a two piece.
two-piece.
Mine's a three piece. It's getting a little rusty and old here, but yeah. One important thing with spud bars is they're all different. They all have different tips. This one here's got a razor blade, so it chisels through the ice really good. I usually just take the spud bar instead of my auger for early ice. I can just hit through, make my holes with that pretty easily and fast. Tyson's tip here, the blade.
Once we get this off.
Yeah, once we get the rubber off.
This is a little bit thicker. Mine's
thicker.
similar to Tyson's blade. Hold that a little closer to the camera. So that, with Tyson's, his is like a two-hit type of thing. So Shandon's is like a one-hit. If he can get through one time, he knows he's on a little bit thinner ice. But with Tyson's, mine's similar. It's a two-hit. If I'm getting through with two hits, I know I'm too thin. And if I'm getting through with one, I know I'm definitely too thin.
Get off that ice.
Yeah.
Yeah, crawl back, that's right.
So definitely make sure you take those out. And another thing to have safety is the ice picks around your neck. So those are good to have just in case you do fall through. That helps you get out and just pull yourself out. So, but I would say number one thing are these, having the tampon bar / ice pick. So
The only thing that's like preventative of falling through the ice is the spud bar. Everything else, like ice picks, we're going to talk about floating suits and everything. You know, that's all that's really good for when you fall into the ice.
Yeah.
But the spud bar actually keeps you out from the water. So
yeah, if you want to save your life, keep yourself safe, invest in the $30-$40 spud bar because it's worth it. I mean, I haven't fallen through yet. I know it's going to happen, but I'm trying to prevent it.
me and Tyson have fallen through.
We just got one more left to fall through there.
Yeah. So
Where'd you
see.
fall through at?
Jordanelle. Yep, fell through Jordanelle. What about you?
It was either Cottonwood or Bullock. I always get those two lakes mixed up. They're right next to each other, but it was like 8 inches of ice, and I walked too close to the river and boom, fell right through. So
See, I was walking through Jordanelle. You got the rock cliffs where our rivers were feeding right in. Saw some guy out there. I'm like, oh yeah, I'd been out here a couple days earlier. No problem. Walking out with my dog, fall right through, and luckily I was able to touch bottom because I had a tent on my back there. But I just had no regard for ice safety. Just got way too comfortable.
Yeah.
And that's something that definitely could have gone really, really bad.
Your dog fine?
Yeah,
Any
dog,
fault?
he was running
I
around.
was
He's
gonna
like,
say,
okay,
okay, yeah.
are we still fishing or what? When I
Yeah.
got out?
Where'd you go?
And I would be lying to you guys if I didn't sit there for a second and think, hey, do I want to walk the mile back to the car or should I just set up the tent and
Yeah.
fish for a minute? I ended up going back to the car, but it did run through my head to fish for a little
Shannon,
bit.
do you fish?
I did. So I had my tent was already set up. It wasn't, mine was, Tyson wasn't set up, it sounds like, but yeah, my tent was already set up. The heater was already blaring. So I just walked in there and let everything dry up. So it was great.
Nice. That's good. Yeah, luckily I have not, so knock on wood.
Knock on wood,
We're keeping
right.
it that way. So sweet. Well, that's definitely good safety to have. So should we kind of talk about some of our gear that we like to use, I guess, some of our baits?
Yeah, kind of to go in with the gear and the safety, though, I think it's kind of important to mention that first ice, you don't need to take everything out there.
Very
Kind
true.
of like Shannon mentioned earlier, he's going out there and just chipping over with the spud bar. Every pound counts. When you're going out there on fresh ice, you're not walking out with your buddy right next to you. You're generally walking out in front. I don't have my sled on when I'm testing first ice and don't see any footprints or anything out there. So you're just going out there. When you do go out, you just need your pole, fish finder. I mean, even at Moosehorn, fish finder didn't do me much
Yeah.
good. I mean, I don't know about you guys. It was all that sight fishing, and you weren't marking anything.
It was more just to figure out the depth. Like,
Yeah.
that's the only reason I had
Exactly.
it out there.
Yep. So just kind of pick and choose what you need. I generally don't need a heater. I mean a tent or a heater when the ice is that thin. You'll get scared pretty quickly when you see that tent start flooding. That's there's sometimes I wonder how I made it this far because I was so naive starting to ice fish going up to Tibble Fork. Tibble Fork has hot spots. Okay,
Yeah.
going out there setting up your tent. Hey, look, there's a hole here already. More research, a couple weeks into it. That's a hot pot I'm fishing over.
Yep.
So just one of those things. Do research and make sure you're safe with where you're at. Mark things, because I was just very lucky to not have more bad stories to
Oh,
tell.
totally. I agree. It's definitely the biggest thing when going out on the early ice is go with people, and like Tyson said, it's always send one person out with the spud bar first. Like if you are taking a sled, taking the tent out, take someone out first, spud bar it, make sure it's thick enough to set a tent up with everybody, and then go for it. Like if it's safe, if it's thick enough, if it's 4 to 6 inches, you could probably set up a tent. It'd be good. But for the most part, I feel like when we go out early ice, we're just going out by ourselves without a tent. It's just us as a group, and we just set up kind of at least 6 feet or more apart and then fish that way.
By the time, the ice, we shouldn't be out there at that point in time, let's be honest, guys, but we're so obsessed that it gets warm enough in the day, you don't even need a tent. I'm shedding off layers. I'm fishing in a t-shirt by the time it's almost ready to go.
And that's another good point is sometimes with these early ices, it's still, 60 degrees down here, 70 degrees, but up there it's going to get 40, maybe 50 by 10, 11 o'clock. So get off the ice early too. Like make sure you know when a good time is to get off the ice because, you're still on ice, but the ice is going to soften up during the day, right? So make sure you're careful of it.
We're used to skating on thin ice over here.
Yeah. So, but I feel like most time that we've gone early ice, we've been off by 11.
Yeah.
So, at latest.
Yeah, because that sun starts hitting it pretty good.
Yep.
But I guess find what what inch, like what thickness you're comfortable with, and go with that. 4 inches, you're safe. Safe, like good clear 4 inches, you're good to go. But
Yeah.
anyway, let's jump into some tackle.
Yeah. So for Uintas, what are you guys packing up? What are you guys sending up in the Uintas?
I'm going
We got
real
some-
simple up there. Tried a couple different things out there, and honestly, guys, what they're just going after are going to be these little dinky tungsten jig heads right here.
Nice.
You put that with a little mealworm, honestly, there's some point in times where you don't even need a mealworm on them because they haven't seen a meal in a couple weeks, and drop that down there, and it's sight fishing with the Unas, which is awesome.
Yeah.
Because you're not generally having a fish finder or anything like that, and the bite is so light that unless you have a really light pole, you're not going to see anything. So it's really just sitting down there and getting ready to set that hook on them. So really fun time. What about you guys? You guys using something similar? Anything different?
Yeah,
Or?
little tungstens, they work great. Last year, I just set a little tiny tungsten on my jaw jacker Didn't tip it with millworms or waxworms or spikes, nothing, and I was still catching fish. So it's small enough they think it's a bug, and they still come and hit it. So
Yeah, works great. I like using these little VMC Neoma. How do you say that?
Neon Moon Eye.
Yeah, what he said.
just neon.
Neon Moon Eye.
These bad boys. I like them. These are the 1/32 ounce, or I'll even have some that are the 1/64 ounce. So super small. Sometimes I'll tip them kind of like these things. These wingdings.
Wingding, yeah.
I don't
It's
know.
a little plastic.
Trout killers. Those are
VMC
trout
likes to
killers.
make some weird names. These bad boys, these work great. Just super small jigs. And like Tyson said, tip them with millworms. The trout love that little taste of it. So those are my go-to. But
I think we're talking about the size of the jig, mainly because these early ice lakes only hold small trout. So you want to use some small things, but as the bigger lakes start freezing, we'll use bigger plastics, bigger spoons, and things. So
yeah, biggest thing is tungsten though. Those little tungsten jigs with a little millworm on it. Love it. They love it sitting. They love it jigging. They'll bite it. So.
They're just happy to think they got a meal.
Yeah. So if we're getting into some of the bigger lakes, you guys still, so like if we're getting up to Huntington or Schofield, we'll say Huntington first. You guys
What'd you
throwing the
take
same
that one?
things?
Huntington, so I usually set a jaw jacker up with a little tungsten anyway. I just keep that small, whatever's on the jaw jacker. And then, but yeah, whatever I'm jigging, I'm upsizing for sure. Using bigger spoons, using bigger plastics, tube jigs, things like that. Sometimes I'll use a drop shot too with a worm on that.
Good old tube jig right here.
Yeah, a little tube jig. White tube jigs are fire.
Yes.
Chartreuse or white, can't beat them. So
Yeah, I mean, I did catch a pretty nice tiger out there on a spoon. It might have just been luck because I also pulled that tiger up by the line at the beginning of the ice. So
Yeah.
I think I was just pretty lucky that day. But after Huntington, I love Schofield. I mean, that's kind of what got me into ice fishing and everything. And these guys are killers. These little buggers right here. I mean, you got
small,
probably
man.
Puny.
inch little tube jig on there,
Little
and
fellas.
those things are non-stop on there.
What type of hook you using with those?
On that one, you probably, I'm using this size right here. I'm not sure off the top of my head. It might be very similar to what you got there.
64th.
64th,
64th.
right there.
Let's
And
see.
that'll,
Kind of pairing that through the top there. Is that what you're doing?
I'm poking it right through this right here.
I kinda set it
I
up.
actually might have one that's already rigged up here because we're blessed out. Let's go right here. So this is another killer at Schofield. That's the one that you'll go through the top here with a squid
Oh,
on
same thing.
that.
Oh, nice. So just through the top there, setting the jig up.
And then generally for
Nice.
these tube jigs right here, I'm going up through here. And then just slowly working your way up over
Okay,
the
you go
head.
through it then,
Yep,
too.
I go through
To the bottom of it.
and kind of get everything tucked up onto there. That way, just your hook is exposed.
Nice.
And then you poke this through right here and you tie your line through and you'll kind of get something that looks like that there.
There you go. That's what I'm talking about. Good little bait right there. Nice. I like using the same thing, but I go big.
Yeah,
I throw,
Schofield, I
I
go
throw
big.
the big old these ones say they're 4-inch tube jigs. So these bad boys work great. I use those with like either a 1/8 ounce or a 1/4 ounce. I like having that good action. I feel like Schofield, if you're not having marking fish, jig hard.
Oh yeah.
Woo! They come in.
Yeah, they'll swoop in. They're aggressive there. Another thing with Schofield first ice, definitely set your tip ups out for some tiger muskie. Me and Taylor have both seen some tiger muskie either through the ice or on the cameras, so
Yeah.
they're definitely in there early ice.
Were they looking pretty big?
Oh yeah. There was two. I had two come under me. I was just sitting. We were probably 8 feet of water, I think. We were just sight fishing fish,
Dude, that's-
and I was sitting there, and just two of them, just one.
Honestly,
it was so sweet.
I'd be cool with getting skunked if I saw those guys swimming under the ice. Like,
Yeah.
I'm cool with that. I know why there are no fish in the area now.
Yeah. I had a tip up set up too with a big old chub. It didn't take it. Like, It was right under the ice. It was probably 2 feet under the ice. And I was like, oh, they're right there. And I was ready. And it went off like 4 minutes later. It was a freaking cutthroat.
Took your chub.
Yeah, I was pissed, but oh well.
Gotta make that bait a little bigger.
I know, for real. We
They
got it.
stock Schofield pretty regularly with the muskie as well. Haven't seen anything this year, but they had 2 or 3 times last year that they went out there with anything from like 1.75 inches all the way up to like 8 or 9 inches there. So
Yeah.
we've got some pretty good sized ones out there, I'm sure.
And there's a lot in there already, so I'm yet to catch one, but this year's the year, Shannon.
Cheers the year.
That's what I'm talking about.
That's right.
Anything else you guys want to talk about with like tackle, or is that kind of the majority of what you use first ice and kind of throughout the season, I guess?
We kind of mentioned calling fishing, so couple different ways to do that. You can tie it with your tube jig there as well, but you've also got your spoons here. We'll get you guys something more of your
Oh, the
size
flash,
there.
yeah. The flash brings
So-
in the fish.
This is a little bit more flash to get some fish in there.
Oh yeah.
Kind of that size. That guy might look familiar there.
That's what
But
I'm
that's a
talking
great
about.
tactic to use for getting fish in. You've also got banging the bottom as well. These spoons are pretty good with that, depending on what size of jig you're using. My little guy won't do much with banging in the bottom.
Yeah.
But definitely your guys' bigger 3-inch, 4-inch tube jigs. They'll notice something kind of being in there.
Yep, bounce bottom, bringing that dust up. Kind of the fish are like, oh, what's going on over there? And it'll bring them in. So,
Yeah.
especially after 9:30, 10 o'clock, it'll probably slow down a little bit. So, yeah, just bound bottom. And also, don't be afraid of going and drilling a new hole. Sometimes you'll be fishing that shallow early in the morning, move out a little bit deeper during the day, and you might find them there.
Rattle too. Rattle helps.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Get some rattle in
Yeah,
there.
some of those
One
there.
of these right here, pretty convenient to show you guys as well. So, got one of these rattles right here.
Good old frostbite clownfish.
A little frosty clownfish
Frosty
there.
clownfish.
I don't know if
Oh, yeah.
that might
Rattle, rattle, baby.
That'll drag them in there. They'll be wondering what that rattling is. It's almost like a dance move for them.
Oh, totally. Don't know why the rattle brings them in, because it annoys me, but fish are a little bit different, I guess.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll be the rattle bait guys. We got the plastic guy,
That's true.
the spoon guy. You know, I think I found my
You
calling
need
here.
to go get one of those frostbite massive ones now. Do you
Yeah,
have one?
Big
Or-
tantrums.
No,
Yeah.
that's the next on the purchase list,
Those
guys.
things are
So
huge.
I found my calling.
They're huge. That's what you got to catch a lake trout on.
Yeah, dude.
That'd be
That'd be sweet. Because I think they just went to a mega too, right? I'm not sure
Really?
what that
I
size is,
don't
but they just
know.
went to a bigger size too,
No,
like a mega
dang.
tantrum. And
That's crazy.
Yeah, I'm not sure what the size on that is, but
Yeah.
They're fun.
That's
Yeah,
sweet.
dude. We need a plastics guy, Taylor.
That's me.
Spoon guy, me, and you got to be the rattle bait.
rattling away. So
So if you guys got any questions, I guess, on any of those, reach out to us. We can help you. I guess the other thing as well, with all these different lakes we've talked about, and there's all different ones that freeze up first, comment down below what your favorite lake is that you like to fish first. Kind of, I guess you don't have to tell us your secret, but what are you guys excited for? What are you excited that's going to be freezing up here soon that you're excited to get out on? What do you say?
yeah, definitely. I
What-
think another thing as well. I mean, we are talking about gear. It's October 18th right now, so a lot of these stores are coming out with gear. I know Shields has already put their stuff out. Sportsman's, I'm starting to see
Cabela's?
some stuff out.
Bellows, yeah, I was there yesterday.
Okay, so Cabela's and stuff. So yeah, a lot of these places are getting their stuff out there, and if you're not sure what to get, go ask your local fish guy in that shop, and they'll be able to kind of point you in the direction of what some good tackle is for the lake you're wanting to go fish at.
If you're wanting first ice stuff too, make sure you get that early because a lot of people get it. So everybody wants to be safe on the ice, so make sure you're safe on the ice to get that stuff.
Yeah, some of those things sell out pretty fast. So
Should we kind of talk about that gear? What are, I guess, the necessities if you're wanting to go out on the ice? What should you bring?
Yeah, I think that can be good to go over. I mean, first things first is a good pair of boots, in my opinion. You will be miserable if you don't have a good pair of boots. Kind of touched base on that a little bit last episode, but a little bit more in depth. Amazon's a great place to get your Arctic Muck boots and your Baffins. I've also seen some places doing clearance for their Baffin boots. I think Walmart was doing some clearance on them. And
Sweet.
this guy just picked up a pair of Arctic Baffins for like $25 on the ice fishing page the other day.
Heck
So
yeah.
keep an eye out just for those deals, and that's one thing that's extremely important, especially with kiddos. I mean, taking it kiddos or anybody new, being able to keep warm is pretty important for making sure they have an enjoyable time.
Yeah, I agree. Keeping those toes warm and
Warm toes and warm hands.
keeping them out of the water, because snow will melt a little bit during the day, so you'll be in the slush a little, but keep them warm. Shannon, what would you say is a necessity for early ice?
We already talked about spud bar, so I should probably pick something else. Oh, ice cleats.
Oh,
Ice cleats. Yeah, because you don't have any. There's no snow on the ice yet, so you're just slipping and sliding. You don't want to. You don't want to fall and bruise up your hips and your elbows and your hands and your head.
Your groin.
Tear your groin.
You guys stood on your sled just so you had some traction.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
You're doing a 360 because it's top of the auger's spinning. Your blade's not going.
Yeah. You're just spinning on the ice. So definitely get some good cleats. I broke 2 pairs last year. So
Oh, really?
I gotta get a better pair.
Yeah, the rubber ones. Yeah,
I had like the springs on it too.
I'm getting 2 or 3 uses out of them. I mean, and then I feel like that cold and just stretching them just doesn't. It's worth getting an upgraded pair. I'm thinking about actually getting some nice metal ones that clamp on your boots there, just because at the point of how many ice cleats I've gone through, I could have bought a decent pair of ice cleats.
That's where I'm at. Yeah.
I got a good pair last year from Shields. I mean, I think I paid like $40 for them, so it was a little bit more. But they lasted me all winter.
But you buy the rubber ones, which are $10 a piece, $7 to $10 a piece, 4 times now.
Yeah.
Right.
It's got the rubber around it, but it's a thick rubber, so it stretches so it can go around. But then it fits on it, and it's almost like a bike chain material.
Oh,
and it worked great. Like when
Looks
there's
like
no
a tire
snow,
chain on the bottom, for your tires. There you go.
and it worked great. Like I definitely was not slipping. The rough part is if there is snow on the ice, kind of builds up around it and then takes it away. But when you're just fishing straight ice, worked great. Loved it.
But looking at those big meaty, look like the baseball cleat, like the metal baseball cleat, just
Kinda stabs.
Yeah, it just stabs
Like
into
the
the
ice
air.
climbing ones.
Yeah.
Those I've had those. Are good.
Those are meaty.
Yeah.
They look mean.
Those
so
ones get up there though. They're like 75 almost.
yeah, they're pretty
100.
expensive. But the other problem with them, like if you have your mats laid out, you're gonna have to take it.
stab
Yeah,
'em.
it's gonna stab right through your mat. So I don't know. I gotta. If you have or know of some good cleats, definitely comment down below. I think you can comment on Spotify podcast too now.
Oh, sweet.
So I don't know, but if you can comment, if you're whatever platform you're watching this on, definitely comment down below what cleats you like the best. So.
Yeah. I would say for me, my biggest thing last year for first ice was I got one of those Eskimo suits. So I got the bibs and the jacket, so it's got the flotation device in it. I definitely didn't have to use it, luckily, but I felt a lot more confident going on early ice and going out spudding, just knowing that I had basically a life jacket on. Like it was nice. Like it kept me warm too. So those days that it was early, getting on the ice early for that early ice, like kept me warm, kept me protected. And so those are just for those just in case. You don't ever necessarily need them. It's kind of like on the airplane, you hop on the airplane. They always go through the instructions just in case you get in a crash. Like that's why I get these things, is just in case. Like you never know. So
it's one of those things. It's fun until it's not, and then you realize why it's not fun.
yeah.
Extra caution. It's more important than just going out there and winging it.
Yeah.
100%.
One thing I like to pack is I always take rope, just a string of rope, just that case your friend does fall in and can't get up by himself. Throwing him the rope and pulling him, just to have that. And you never know when you're gonna need some rope. Comes in more handy than you really think. So I always pack at least like 25 feet. So that way you're at least a safe distance away from the hole, so you don't fall into. But having that just gives that a little bit of security. That just in case thing again. So anything else you guys would take first ice just for that safety?
We mentioned it earlier, but before, just the spikes around the neck. You pop them out, but those in combination with the rope, wrap the rope around the guy, and then he's also spiking his way out. So
Yeah,
I don't know.
I mean, just basic ice safety. Know to crawl out. I mean, just because you don't have all that, you should have all that stuff for safety, but there are ways to survive without it if you do get yourself into a situation. Flatten yourself out once you fall through, crawl yourself out. Don't try and pull yourself up and just break yourself.
Don't
break
get
yourself.
out like a pool, like where you're getting out the edge. Do not do that.
Yeah, no.
More of a
Lean
swimming.
forward.
Yeah.
Go flat and kick your feet, so you kind of kick yourself out.
And the adrenaline will get you there. Trust me.
You will panic, but try not to panic. Try to
Yeah.
calm yourself down.
Calm
Once
yourself.
you calm down,
Use that adrenaline for kicking yourself out, not flailing.
yep, just hold yourself on the edge. And then once you kind of calm down, lean forward, kick, and you'll be good.
I think another important thing is, especially at that early ice that nobody's been out to, is a buddy. I mean, once you've had 2 or 3 weeks of frozen ice that you know of and you're kind of just testing new areas, yeah, you can use a spud bar by yourself, but especially those areas you don't have service, going out there with a buddy and making sure you're both on the same page with what your guys' game plan is definitely ideal for those situations.
Yeah, huge. Well, I think that kind of wraps up today's podcast. We've talked about kind of what lakes are coming, what to get hyped about, what to use on those lakes, and then how to be safe. You guys want to add anything else, I guess?
No, just ready for the season. It's almost here, guys.
I know.
We're getting there.
We got a big
Getting
storm
excited.
coming next week, so that'll hopefully bring in some cold and start checking out the Uintas.
Pretty soon, the scenery will be changed, and we'll be doing this podcast over some ice.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited. So thanks you guys for joining. If you enjoy this, you want to keep listening to us and you want to stay up to date with what the Utah fishing has to come, then hit that subscribe button. If you like it, hit that like button, and go follow us on Instagram as well, Frozen Frenzy Ice Fishing, and you can kind of follow along, seeing who we are, get to know our faces a little better, and also stay tuned with the tournament. So anything else you have to say to wrap this?
That's it, guys. Yeet fishing out.